Welcome to another episode of Retirement with Rick. I'm excited to welcome Loni Reed. She's a seasoned title insurance representative with Driggs Title Agency here in Las Vegas. Loni has earned a stellar reputation in the real estate community for her commitment to fostering successful partnerships and ensuring smooth and efficient transactions for her clients. With years of experience in the title industry, she brings invaluable insights into how title professionals work hand in hand with real estate and mortgage experts to achieve client goals. Known for her love of hula hooping and signature light up jackets, Loni, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Rick. I appreciate it.
And you brought one of your jackets that you're so known for all over the valley.
I do have my hula hoops too out in the truck.
You do?
Yeah.
Or maybe before the segment's over, we'll get a hula hoop
maybe
or
you
two.
could hula hoop.
I don't know about that. I'll leave that up to you. You're the expert. Thanks for coming in. I really appreciate it. Let's just start how you got in the title industry and what kind of motivated you to go down this career path.
7 years ago when I was living in Phoenix, my husband and I had talked about moving to Vegas. And I was on a realtor tour because I was licensed in Arizona. Okay. And I was on a realtor tour with Driggs Title Agency. And their marketing rep on the bus said where all their offices were in Phoenix. And they said, we have some in Las Vegas. And I thought, wow, they have offices in Vegas. Maybe I can do something for Driggs there. And knowing I was going to come here and not knowing the lay of the land, marketing seemed like the best avenue for me since I know Driggs, I know all that. So that's how I got started. I called Adam Driggs when I was in Phoenix and said, I think I'm moving to Vegas. Do you need marketing reps? And he said yes. And fast forward 7 years now, here I am, and have been a rep with them since then.
Yeah.
And love it. So it was kind of a funny story how it all came about.
Yeah.
And I didn't know a soul here when I moved.
I was just going to comment on that because only 7 years, I've known you for a couple of years, but I get this impression that it's almost you've been in Vegas for many years. And the reason I say that is because I see the relationships that you have, not just with myself and some of my colleagues, but others out there. And that was one of my questions, how have you been able, in a short amount of time, build these strong partnerships with other real estate agents here in the Valley?
Well, prior to COVID, even going into real estate offices, a lot of agents weren't there. And if you did go in, the gatekeeper would say, oh, we work with ABC Title, and I'd be like, okay, that's great. I'll see you next week.
Yeah.
And I'd keep going back. So what I decided to do is how am I going to get in front of agents? So I sat at the association in the common area to get to know people. But again, if I see agents walk by and say, hey, I'm Loni with Driggs Title, you want to talk? They would run. They think I'm a car salesman.
Right.
So I thought outside the box.
Yeah.
And I started wearing clothing, which you've seen my light-up jackets.
Yes.
And I have light-up jackets. They blink like a Christmas tree. I wear glittery stuff, money, clothes patterns. And people would come up to me. Where did you get that, this and that? And so that's kind of where people know that. And that's why when I go and if I don't have sparkles on, what's wrong, Loni? Even today.
Right.
If I dress normal or hula hoop and stuff. So that's how I started to meet people and build relationships that way.
Yeah.
Just by having fun. Because, it's all about relationships, obviously, and you've got to get to know people.
Right.
And so it's fun because even when I go places now, it's like, hey, you're the light up jacket lady.
You're known for it. Right.
So that's how I got my foot in that way.
Yeah.
And then having a real estate background, having sold for 15 years down in the Phoenix area, puts a different spin on me as a marketing rep, I believe.
Right. You can see it from their perspective.
Absolutely.
Put yourself in their shoes. Yeah.
And I like to think outside the box.
Right. I know that.
Yep.
And with that, I get it, how you were able to get your foot in the door by thinking outside the box, being a little creative in how you approach other agents. But then it's how do you keep them engaged and committed to you? I know, and you have. So I know, how you've been able to, garner the attention, but tell me too how you've been able to maintain those strong relationships, those agents, and also mortgage guys like me who look at you and rely on you and want to work with you. And
it's, even when I was selling real estate and I would hand someone their keys to their home, I said, this is the beginning of our relationship. It
Yeah.
doesn't end here. You call me, you need things. And many people I sold homes to are still great friends of mine. I have friends that I go to Maui every year that bought a home down there. And it's the same thing here. I keep in touch with people on Fridays. Every Friday I do Feel Good Friday calls. And when I call people, they are shocked. They're like, what are you calling for? What do you need? I'm just calling to say hi, have a great weekend, because I do truly care.
Yeah.
And I always say I'd rather work with 50 people and give you stellar service than work with 250 people and give you just mediocre.
Right.
Because it's about those relationships. And people just want to know you care.
Yeah. It's a people business.
Absolutely.
Right.
And there's more outside. We're all here to work and take care of our clients and that, but there's friendships too
Right.
that develop. Like you and I were just talking about football. 'Cause
That's right.
You're a Cleveland Browns fan. We shouldn't admit that.
By marriage,
Yeah, me too,
right?
me
It's
too.
my wife's from Cleveland, know.
too, so.
No disrespect to the Browns fans out there and the Browns, but
True,
yes,
true.
yes, we have.
So that's what it's
bonded
all
over that.
about.
Yeah.
And just popping by and seeing people, and people just want to know that you care.
Right, absolutely.
And have fun.
Yeah.
Because, you go to things and it's stuffy and and that's why I act goofy.
Yeah.
At first my husband's like, what, you're ridiculous. But hey, as I told our owner, Adam Driggs, crazy sells. Being crazy.
Yeah.
And out there and having fun.
And you said, this industry can be very stressful for a lot of us and agents, and you can tighten up and get stiff and lose sight of, hey, we're at the end of the day, we've got some pretty great jobs, when you think about
phenomenal.
it. We got some pretty great jobs,
Absolutely.
comparatively speaking, to
Absolutely.
what is out there. Relish that. Have some fun with that, right?
Absolutely.
And you do a great job
And
of that.
my goal isn't to meet my clients' expectations. I want to exceed them.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be asking them, did we exceed? If we didn't, what can we do better?
Right.
Because I can have 5 agents here, and every single one has a different need and want.
Yeah.
Some like to be phone calls, some like this, some don't call me. I don't want to, So you need to know each person.
That's a great point.
And that's the connection.
Yeah. That's a great point, because it's instead of maybe just forcing something upon all your clients or all your agents, you're getting to know each one, what makes them tick. Some agents, I presume you work with younger agents,
Absolutely.
old, seasoned agents, old, whatever you call it. But and each one has a different way that they like to conduct their business or communicate, and you've got to kind of be a chameleon and adapt to that, right?
And a lot of people, agents always say to me, Loni, what's working out there?
Yeah.
What are other agents doing? And I said, that doesn't matter, because we need to figure out what you like to do.
That's right.
Because I could tell you these agents are killing it cold calling, but do you like to cold call? No, if I tell you that cold calling is work and you can't stand it, you're not going to be successful.
Right.
So we have to find out what you like and travel down that path. And that was me when I sold real estate. My farming was my son's football teams, from Pop Warner all the way through high school, because I spent so much time with those families.
Right.
For me, that was my door knocking.
Yeah.
Because I was in front of them.
Right.
My gym was I didn't tell people I was a real estate agent. I wore Realty One clothes, whatever. Don't mess with a woman that sells real estate. So people knew. And so that's how I gained business, doing it that way.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. What are some of the biggest misconceptions that either not just agents, but maybe just consumers, homeowners have when it comes to like the title insurance industry? Is there anything that comes to mind that, like in our industry, the mortgage industry and mortgage products, is always like misconceptions that we're always wanting to educate consumers and agents on, or dispel myths, that type of thing. In your industry, is there anything that comes to mind with what you do? And
well, a lot of people talk about title companies, different ones. Their fees are a lot lower, or this or that. Everyone can check fees out, and everybody's fees are pretty consistent.
Okay.
Across the board.
Okay.
Someone's maybe $50 more, this or that, but it
Yeah.
comes down to that customer service and that client service that you're getting from people. And a lot of people aren't reading their settlement statements, because a lot of things are bundled into one thing and not broken out. And so we're all competitive. And it comes down to relationships.
yeah,
and just taking care of your clients.
Right.
Because I always tell people at the end of the day, we all have our buyer's guides, seller's guides, and all that stuff. But again, it's that relationship and are you available?
Right.
And we pride ourselves on that because I'm amazed at how many agents say to me, well, I can't go and sign after 4 o'clock because they don't do it. I'm like, what are you talking about? You've got to adapt. My motto is if you're working, I'm working.
Yeah. How much does the consumer have not so much have a say so, but how much, mostly we're working with the agents. Your clients are the agents or the mortgage loan officers, right? When it comes to like a consumer who's maybe trying to decide like, well, how does a title industry work? And should I have more of a say so in selecting title company A versus title company B? It seems like most of the time that's, I don't want to say pre-selected for the consumer, but a lot of times it seems like maybe the consumer
relies on their agent.
Relies on their agent, right? So with that being said, is there anything to add on that in terms of how and whether a consumer should be more active in that? Is it something you think that they need to look into a little bit more, or just really rely on the relationship of their agent to help them best navigate which title companies they should use?
When I was selling as an agent, that was part of my job, is to educate my clients on different services and relationships I have with different title companies, and to match them with that person, that escrow officer that I thought would be the best fit for them.
Okay.
I just recently, my in-laws are moving here, and their agent, I learned from their agent in Houston or from their title company, I should say, out in Houston, because they'd send them documents and just say, sign it, and they have no clue what they are. None.
Yeah.
And so I think what I'm seeing and what I'm trying to help agents now is to be more proactive and be involved with your clients and say, hey, they're sending you these forms. This is what it is. Let's go over it. When you open escrow, they're going to be calling you and wanting this, this, and this right away.
Right.
And time is of the essence. You know that.
Right. Yeah.
If you have to wait for someone's, documents, it could push out your closing date.
Right. Absolutely. Obviously, you know that I work primarily with senior homeowners.
Yes.
And as you were saying that, I was just thinking of, senior homeowner who may not have an advisor with them, or they may not be as quick to respond when it comes to, technology or utilizing
Absolutely.
technology. And in a situation like that, they're in the process of selling or buying a house, and they're getting these documents kind of thrown at them from the title company. And if, there's not someone who's walking them through, I potentially, what you were just saying, I potentially see that an issue for many senior homeowners as well, right?
Absolutely. And I myself, when I sold down in Arizona, that was one of my big areas that I worked, was the senior community as an agent, because they do need that help.
Yeah.
They do need that assistance. And so the escrow officers we have at Driggs Title that we work with, we take pride in making sure that our clients do know what they're getting. And we're not just sending it to them, we're calling, we're following up. If we need to go and meet them and sit down with them and go over this to explain it to them and help them navigate through it, we're going to do that.
Yeah.
Because that you have to do that.
Yeah.
Because they're afraid.
Right.
It's a big, investment. And
Sure.
So I agree with you completely.
Yeah, sure. Along those lines, what is your thoughts about just seniors and how they could best protect their home equity? Whether it be from like a title standpoint, thinking about services that your industry offers, some of the options that senior homeowners may have with title services. Anything that comes to mind, what are some tips about how seniors can best protect that precious asset, their home equity?
Well, I think a lot of it, like with you and I working together on that, because I have equity in it, and they need to speak to someone like yourself that specializes in that area to help them navigate. Is this the time to do a reverse mortgage? Is it a good thing for me, a good option? And people aren't educated.
Yeah.
And I think it's a whole area that agents themselves aren't educated in it.
Sure.
And so I look at agents now that are interested. I'm going to work the 55 plus community. Okay, well, let's look at the communities around that 55 plus community, those people that are 55 and farm that area to see if they want to move into that community.
Right.
Because a lot of those people that are already within those communities are pretty set.
Staying put.
You know,
Yeah, for the most part.
but there's a lot of people that aren't educated that are on the outskirts.
Right. You brought it up. What is your opinion on reverse mortgages? From your standpoint, someone who you in the real estate industry for a while, you obviously now in the title insurance industry for many years. From your perspective, what is your opinion on reverse mortgages?
I think they're outstanding. They're fabulous, and I wish more people would educate themselves on it. Down in Arizona, again, I've been here 7 years. It's been 10 years since I was involved selling and doing things.
Yeah.
I see, and I don't know if it's fear from the agents or what it is, but they're not educating themselves, and no one's digging their teeth in it. And I think they're missing the boat.
Yeah.
Because these seniors need that, and it could be a game changer in their life.
Yeah, absolutely.
A huge game changer. In fact, I've talked to you about a couple of people, and I'm trying to get them, hey, come in and at least have a conversation. But people, I don't know.
Yeah.
And we got to break that barrier.
Right.
But I'm not one that, okay, they say no now. My motto is if someone says no, it's just no for today.
No for today. I like that.
I had a lender partner when I was a rep down in Arizona. I kept going to his office. And finally, he said to the receptionist, just give her a refi to get her out of here. Because I kept going back in. And he would tell people at CE classes when we partnered together, he goes, the only difference between Loni and a pit bull is a pit bull will let go eventually. Because it's persistency. You care.
Yep. Sure. Right.
And hey, I'm just asking, when I meet someone, hey, give me an opportunity.
Right.
I respect your relationships with other, partners that you have. I'm not here to disrupt that.
Yeah.
But put me in the game.
Right.
Going back to football.
Right. I love it.
I always say I'm in the backup quarterback position. Put me in the game so I can earn the starting position.
That's right. That's a great analogy. Yeah. What do you see? I mean, and maybe you may not see a role, but what do you see your role from your industry, being a title insurance representative, in helping raise awareness for mortgage products like reverse mortgages to the consumer? Do you see yourself having, because obviously you're not the one selling it, that doesn't fall on your shoulders,
right?
But do you see any role that you have in helping to potentially raise awareness, or is that more so, hey, that's the agent's lane, that's the mortgage loan officer's lane?
No, I think it's a partnership, like, say, with yourself and myself and the agents, and going out there and into those communities, educating the people again, and bring these agents that we know, hey, yeah, I want to work those communities. But again, let's go to the outskirt communities and talk to them. I live in Rhodes Ranch. We got a lot of people 55 plus. We could do events there about it because people don't know.
Right.
And people will come out and do those things in their clubhouse and whatnot. I used to do that down in Arizona because they had a lot of people that just rented and would come down from Minnesota, Chicago, et cetera, and we would do events to make awareness.
Right.
And so that's a game changer. So you have to be out there.
Yeah.
And it's like sending out postcards. You can't do it for 1 or 2 months and, I didn't get anything, I'm going to stop.
Right.
You got to be consistent.
Yeah, right.
And so that's one way, educating agents that you do such an amazing job with your classes. Phenomenal. That's huge. That is huge. And, and following up with them and getting involved with them.
Yeah. Aside from what you and I are doing, could there be better collaboration out there with this specific topic and just raising awareness to senior homeowners about reverse mortgages? Could here in the Valley, speaking specifically in Las Vegas Valley, do you think there could be better collaboration between title, real estate, mortgage lending to help
without a
benefit
doubt?
the senior homeowner?
I would love to see us be able to do a piece on one of the news shows, because people are watching that, and it brings awareness again. And, we want to get out there so that people see that. Or, again, I keep going back to these communities. They have events there all the time, throughout the year. Get involved with them to bring awareness.
Right.
And get your partners, like you said, together.
Right.
we get teams together, just like agents have their teams who they use. We need to get out there as a unit and present that to this 55 plus community.
Right. Because I know you've seen it as much as I've probably seen it. There's a lot of agents who just don't know, not that they need to know, because they're not mortgage professionals, about the inner workings of a reverse mortgage. But there's many, many agents here in town that either A, don't know how it works, B, are misinformed of what it does and what the terms are, and C, have no idea that you can use a reverse mortgage to buy a home.
They're not educated.
They're just not educated.
And I think it's fear. People don't like to get outside their circle.
Yeah.
But they're missing the boat.
Yeah.
The agents are. Because that's a huge thing.
Do you think this is a niche too? Because, I know a lot of agents and, I know I'm born and raised here, so I know what a lot of these agents, everyone's going for that shiny, what's that shiny object right now?
Absolutely.
Luxury real estate or whatever that might be, which no knock on it, but, it's probably highly competitive.
I've said it to you many times.
Right?
And I've said it to agents at our classes. You're missing the boat if you don't sink your teeth into this.
Right.
Because I personally, at the top of my head, I can't even name an agent that is focusing on that.
Right.
And they're missing the boat.
Right.
So again, I hate to keep referencing Arizona, but that was a huge part of my business.
Yeah.
Huge.
A lot of retirees there, here.
I did, like I said, the Minnesota club, they all had their different clubs. Once a month, they'd all go out for breakfast. So Loni was there as the real estate agent with all these retirees, but that's, be there.
Right.
And my lender partner was with me there.
Right.
And we had those relationships. People are missing the boat.
Yeah.
Totally. And it's sad. And our consumers, our 55 plus are missing.
Yeah.
Because they don't understand it. And agents, I keep telling them, make sure you have that tool in your toolbox for that client you come up against.
Right.
And you're absolutely right. You don't have to be the expert, Mrs. Agent. You just need to know enough to direct them where to go.
That's right. That's right. And be able to give them enough information that allows the consumer to at least look into it. What I mean by that is that, we know the agent, for many people, they're like the one-stop shop for everything, right? Mm-hmm. Like I go to my agent who I just bought the house from, then I go to him or her for a handyman, a plumber. Hey, do you know an attorney? Do you know a CPA? Agents have that luxury of being the go-to person for a lot of homeowners. So I know that many agents also get asked, do you know anything about reverse mortgages? And I also know, unfortunately, that a lot of agents will say, those are bad. Run away. The bank takes your home. All these things that are not true about the product. And then, so when that happens, what does that do to the consumer who, right? They're going to right away be like, oh,
no, it's
okay,
no good.
I'm done. That's as far as I'm going, right? And that could have, who knows, that could have been a good option for that consumer. We don't know.
Game changer.
It could be a game changer.
Absolutely.
We don't know. But at the very least, what I'm getting at is that, like you're saying, is that if the agent just has enough understanding to be able to offer a few bits of accurate information, they're not the expert, but just accurate information to say, hey, this is what I know, this is what I've heard. Maybe I took a class on this. This is what I learned, and just go find out for yourself whether it's good or not. Instead of putting that roadblock, that wall right from the onset, which I know that has stopped a lot of homeowners out there all over the country from looking further into this product.
And what's sad is that you have such amazing tools and products for agents at their disposal.
Yeah.
So if I have somebody that's in the 55 plus area, hey, let me send you this video.
Yeah.
You have all that.
Right.
In addition to reading material, and that's what they're not utilizing it.
Right.
Just like agents, I always say, hey, what's your business plan for next year? You need one.
Right.
Well, I have to do the same thing as a marketing rep. And one of my goals, Sue Ann and I, my assistant, is this particular area. We need to tap into it more and get these agents involved with your product because it is an untapped source.
Yeah.
Instead of them like, I want to run after the HOA liens and I want to run after whatever, what about this?
Yeah.
This is huge, but they're afraid.
Yeah.
And so we're going to make a difference.
Yeah.
On
Yeah. Well,
this.
I know you're a big supporter of it, and I appreciate
Yep.
that. Shifting gears a little bit, how are you seeing technology changing the game and changing how you're even serving your clients with, obviously with AI getting to be
Yep.
so prevalent in, our industry as
Right.
with many industries. How is that changing, or is it changing the way you are approaching and serving your clients and helping them grow their business?
For me, I work with a whole diverse group of people, younger agents. I'm old, so I'm working with older, and I'm the type that the handshake means everything,
Yeah.
and we can have a conversation. I pick up my phone, call people, or, my kids sit next to each other and text each other. I mean, where are we going here?
Right.
So you have to adapt to whom you're speaking with. Because the people that are older, as you had referenced, they don't want to learn this technology. They don't want to have to do that. And I've seen people, my neighbor, she didn't refinance her house because she thought it was too much and she couldn't, get DocuSign. So again, back down in Arizona, the lender, which you would do, went over to her house and brought her the stuff.
Right.
It saved her a lot of money. So technology, I think, for some is very powerful. And for others, they, are still old school, if you will.
Right.
Like I know it, and go out there and meet and handshake and whatnot. While others are all about AI and social media and reels. And so it's good. So I always like to tell agents, do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So you're seen here or there.
Sure.
Because that's good. And when I get compliments from people, they say, hey, I see you everywhere, then that means I'm out doing what I need to do. They need to do the same thing.
Right. No, I agree with that. You should always have multiple irons in the
Yep.
fire or different, what we call cogs in your marketing
Yep.
plan, so that if
You're
one
touching different.
Yeah, you're touching different. You're doing
Yep.
it different ways. If one isn't working in this particular month, well, you're not all in on that one
Right.
area or that one, right?
Absolutely.
You've got other areas working. So yeah, I 100% support that. So you don't see at this moment technology really changing anything for you and just even your work, your day to day. Do you see it?
For me, yeah, because I have to pick up my game
Yeah.
with it. And again, going back to being old, I said at the beginning of this year or the second quarter, I said I need to get more active on social media.
Yeah.
But for me to take the time to learn it and do these filters and all this stuff, I have an assistant that does that for
Yeah.
me. So
Sure.
I'll take pictures and do that. And it's great because you want people to know too, I'm human.
Right.
I'm not, the song isn't all about work.
Right.
And that's where you see people that you connect. Oh, hey, she likes football.
Yeah.
Or she likes this, and you build those relationships with similarities.
That's right.
With people.
Yeah.
And testimonials are huge.
100%. Right.
Huge, huge,
Right.
huge. And agents, need to get those more. And that's one thing at Driggs Title that we do.
You guys do a
Yes.
great job of that on post closing. I've
Yep.
noticed. Yeah.
We do a closing experience. So when
Yep.
our clients come in, we showcase them on our flat screen TVs.
Yep.
The agents, they sign their documents. We have fortune cookies. And they get a small gift that matches that. We'll take videos with them
Yeah.
and photos and post it out on social media to promote that agent
Right.
and get their name out there. And if we can get a buyer or seller to give a video testimonial, even better.
Even better. That's
Even
gold right
better.
there. Yeah. Yeah.
Because videos are the thing.
Yep.
And people are afraid of them.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. It's like,
Right.
we're
It's
real.
a hassle, or if you can make it easy, like it sounds
Yeah.
like you do,
Yeah.
it's all right there. You come into the office for the closing, and then we're just, hey, let's step into this room here and take
Yep.
10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever it might be, and boom,
Yes.
you've got it all right there. I mean, that's
And I have escrow officers that don't want to do videos and things. And I'm
Sure.
like, you need to.
Yeah.
And I say, just think about us. We're just sitting and have a conversation.
right.
That's it.
Look at us now.
Exactly.
Hey.
It's real.
Right. What advice would you give new agents about working with title partners and how to best leverage those partnerships for their own business?
So new agents coming out, I always say, you need to build a team. Who's going to be your team?
Yeah.
Talk to a couple different people because it's, again, about relationships and see who you connect with. You might come and, again, meet with me, a new agent. We find out we have sports in common, or, my son, being in the military, and my younger son now is firefighter in Phoenix. We have that common similarity. And so find those people that you connect with, lenders, home warranties. But do your research and you know that you have a trusted team, a trusted unit together.
Right.
Because I made lots of mistakes when I got out of the gate of selling real estate.
Yeah. What were some?
I tried too many things
Yeah.
and didn't do anything good. So I always tell people, agents, when I meet with them, I've got a box here and it's got all these puzzle pieces in it. We're going to pick out a couple pieces and we're going to put them together and we're going to master it. Mm-hmm. So what they might like cold calling or sending out postcards or doing whatever. We're going to get that going and then we're going to add to it and build a picture. Because if you try to spread yourself too thin, you're not focused on anything.
Right.
And, also learn your business. Take time when you get out of real estate school and get your license to learn it. I always say there should be another class. I'm licensed, now what? Now I'm in the real world.
Right.
And learn it. Educate yourself. Take classes. Learn the contract. I had an agent, I role played with them and had them take me to houses and look at them like I was a potential buyer, so that they got the feel for opening the house with the lockbox key, and if there was issues, not to panic and sweat. And then I had them write a contract. And this agent wrote it beautifully, but when I questioned him about it, I don't understand these lines, he had no idea.
No idea. Yeah.
He was great at filling in the blanks, and I wasn't trying to be rattle him, but learn that. Lay your foundation like it's a home, solid foundation, and then start building up.
Right. Right. That's great advice. From a marketing standpoint, what would you say to those new agents on what you specifically might be able to do for agents here in town?
Biggest thing, again, is we got to start and sit down, work your sphere of influence.
Okay.
I'm all, hey, great, you want to get leads through wherever, realtor.com, Zillow, those things. But when people tell me what they're spending, and I ask them, how many do you have in your database? And you're sure, I've got 400 people. What are you doing with them? Nothing. What do you mean nothing? You could be reaching out to them. They know your name. Right. These people don't know your name. Let's work that first and budget. What can you afford? You don't have to have a huge budget. I did my marketing as an agent on a really slim budget.
Yeah.
Because you got to be creative and think outside the box.
Sure.
How are you going to get in front of people?
Right.
So that's the biggest thing. And I've got an amazing business plan that I can sit down with agents with.
Okay.
That is very simple. I cringe when people say, got to do a business plan. I'm like, oh.
Right. Sure.
It takes me forever.
Right. Overwhelming.
This is like fill in the blank.
Yeah. That makes it easy.
How much are your bills a month? Do you like buyers or sellers? Do you like this? How many calls? How many of this you need to do? Marketing. What do you pay your brokerage? Real easy.
Yeah.
Plug and play, I call it.
Okay.
So, we have to figure out what fits that agent.
Right.
Again, it's not cookie cutter because everyone's different.
That's right. Right. And what advice would you give agents who don't understand reverse mortgage and might want to better understand that for their own senior clients or potential senior clients?
They need to come and sit down with you.
With me? Oh, okay, great.
For sure. And I say that in class. I tell agents, if you haven't had the opportunity to sit down, have coffee with Rick, you're not doing justice to your clients.
Well, I appreciate that.
Because it goes back to, again, educate yourself in your industry.
Sure.
You need to know what's going on.
Right.
If I'm out and about in Rhodes Ranch and living there and I'm seeing all these people and I don't know what's happening in Rhodes Ranch, I'm not that strong of an agent there.
Yeah.
I need to be prepared.
Right.
So agents need to do that. And that's another factor in their marketing plan.
Right. As far as the Las Vegas Valley, what are you seeing? What are you excited about? I mean, obviously we got a lot of changes that are constantly coming through this valley, and a lot of people want to continue to move into this valley. What excites you about living here, working here, and what you see for the future here in Vegas?
I always thought maybe I'd go back to Phoenix one day. I actually just let my license go there. It was like a baby's blanket, like just in case.
Right.
Would never go back there.
Never go back. Okay.
Phoenix is great. Don't take me wrong.
Okay.
Vegas has so much to offer. And I think my misconception was, oh, God, I would never raise a family there because, it's not like that. It's great communities, great people, and if you want to go down and have fun on the strip or go do things, the whole state is amazing. So that's why people are coming here.
Yeah.
And the real estate market, as you're seeing, is only getting stronger.
Right.
We go in these waves, which is normal.
Yep.
And, when the rates were down to 3 and less, and then they went up to 5, people were freaking out. I mean, that's good, people. And they had to calm their nerves and understand.
Right.
But I would tell people, don't sit and wait to buy, because as you look even now, it's still going up.
Yep.
And, you want to pay $2,500 a month for rent over a course of a year. So let's show you what you're paying in rent for a year versus what you can buy.
Right, sure. Plus, you got rent increases that who knows if you're
absolutely,
you have no control over, and chances are it's probably going to go up as well. So there's less security there.
And even like I told you, my in-laws moving here and getting a new build, I am going to get them in, which they have committed to come and talk to you, because I think this is your product is a great opportunity for them. And again, it's educating.
Yeah. People,
because the valley is not going to slow down.
Right. No.
It's not going to slow down.
Right. I agree.
It's only we're getting landlocked, and it's starting to spread out even more.
Right.
Which is great. The north is just booming up there. So people just need to stay out there and stay in front of people. Because I listen to agents say, "Oh, it's so slow and it's this and that," but no different than COVID. What did we do in COVID? The people that went and buried themselves when COVID lifted, they were behind.
Yeah.
But the ones that stayed out in front,
right,
and got creative.
That's great advice right now for agents. Yeah.
I mean, I did during COVID. We did lunch and learns. Well, how do you do lunch and learns during COVID?
Yeah.
Via Zoom.
Right.
I sent pizzas to everyone's house.
Remember you telling me?
I'm surprised my assistant's still with me, because she had to call. You can't call one pizza place. She had to call like 18 or so.
Right.
But you think outside the box, and people remember that.
That's right.
Same thing applies with agents. Stay out there. Keep hitting the pavement. Keep your name out there. Keep in front of people. And just educate them.
Yeah, that's great advice. What haven't we covered here? What are some thoughts you have about anything at all here with the Valley, agents, senior homeowners, anything that comes to mind that maybe we haven't covered quite yet?
I think we've touched on a great deal, Rick. I keep saying the same thing. Agents need to stay active and stay out there.
Yeah.
And you're going to have ups and downs. But that's part of our industry. And so you have to pull your bootstraps up and just keep marching through. And be there and be sincere. People want to know you care.
Yeah, sure.
Call and just talk and see how they're doing.
Right.
I had a lot of people, and I have agents say, well, they weren't ready to buy because they have, medical bills and this and that. And I said, did you refer them to a lender? Well, no, because they're not ready. How do you know? You just gave that client to somebody else.
Yep.
Because if they would refer them to you, you could say, hey, let's make a plan, Mr. Buyer, potential buyer. In 6 months, if you do this, this, and this, you'll be ready to go.
Right.
But that agent just handed it off to someone. Don't do that.
They qualified it themselves or disqualified it themselves,
right?
That's
perfect.
Let's
way
not,
to say it.
And that goes for any of us in any industry. Like the minute you start disqualifying or being a little short-sighted with what you can do with this, obviously within reason. We're not talking anything out, but within the box, within reason.
Yep.
But like you said too, sometimes you have to think a little creative, a little outside the box.
Absolutely.
To find those opportunities that would not have presented themselves if you just quickly dismissed or disqualified this particular prospect. So yeah, I think that's a big thing for realtors, people in my industry, in the mortgage industry as well.
Well, and in mine too. I always tell agents, if you've got something that's not going how you want with the title company, with your escrow process, you got to tell me too.
Right.
If you're trying to get a hold of the escrow officer and they're in a signing and hours go by, call me.
Right.
I may not have the answer for you, but I'm going to get it for you. Let me know while it's going on so we can correct it.
Yeah.
And get us back on track. And when we close escrow, we'll sit down and see how we could have been better.
Right.
What can we do differently?
Right.
But don't get frustrated and just walk away.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the communication breaks down
Yeah.
on whatever side.
Right.
But let's fix it and get moved together.
In general, how, as you were saying that, I was just thinking in general, since COVID and just with how we communicate these days, social media, text, et cetera, we all know we've lost a little bit of that personal interaction. In general, how would you say is the communication with agents and your team? Could they be more communicative? Are they not speaking up as much as you'd like to see them? Or
I'm shy and it's hard for me to talk to
I
people.
know,
So it's like,
I know
my
you're so
gosh.
shy. Yeah, right.
But the team, at Driggs, we're huge on communication. Huge. Because at the end of the day, nothing else matters.
Yep.
And to the point where probably over communicate.
Yeah.
Where I have agents say, Loni, enough. You don't have to email me every time I this or that. That's okay. But it's showing that we truly care.
Yeah.
It's, again, I'll go back. I'd rather work with 50 than 250.
Sure.
So you have to have the communication. I'm very happy with our communication because our phones don't shut off at 5. You've met one of our escrow officers, Ashley
Yeah.
Dean, and she'll say, hey, call me anytime 24/7. And I keep asking and challenging an agent, call her at 2 in the morning. Because her and I are up emailing each other, or I'm emailing her something at 3 a.m. And she's like, why are you emailing? Well, why are you replying?
Right.
Communication.
Communication. Yeah.
But that's commitment, and that's because we truly love what we do.
Right. It
And
shows.
I get all excited and stuff when I meet with agents and that. And
Oh, I know.
Yeah, right. I mean, you might be having a rough day or something, and it's like, wow, I'm all excited again.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest reward is seeing the success of agents and lenders and
Right.
how I can help them, and especially new ones too, because I remember being new
Right.
and what it felt like.
Sure.
Scary.
Sure.
So I always say, hey, you closed your first one, do something special for yourself.
Yeah. And you said earlier, I mean, especially for those newbies, is understanding you don't have to go at it alone. Build yourself a team. Like you said
Absolutely.
earlier, build yourself a team. Do your research, who you want to partner with from a title perspective, lending perspective, et cetera. You don't.
I had an interesting conversation a couple of days ago with an agent, and she said she's probably about 4 years in now. She goes, my first year and a half, I was navigating how to get clients
Yeah.
and how to get them. She goes, now that I'm here, I'm learning how to keep them because they get scared, they get buyer's remorse, and what am I going to do? And so it's a whole different animal. It's different stages.
Right.
That you go through. And that's why I go back to when you come out of the gate, lay your foundation solid.
That's right.
Learn. Talk to your peers. Shadow them. Shadow people. Hey, can I go out with you? Can I go with you on that listing appointment? Go to open houses. Talk to people.
Right. Right.
Talk to your lenders. Bring your lender partner with you.
Yeah.
A lot of people want title agents, marketing reps to go with them. That's great, but you add huge value when a potential buyer comes in because you can talk to them about buying that house, whereas, I'm there to support the agent, which is fantastic.
Right.
But they need to partner and have their team together.
Yeah.
And safety-wise, too.
Right.
Sure,
that
with
too. Yeah.
open
and
houses.
numbers. Yeah, absolutely. Well, you've done a great job of, as you said, going back full circle in this interview of being able to attract clients, agents, but then also retain them. Like you were just saying a minute ago for this particular agent, and she now had to pivot. What do I do? So you and your team have done a fabulous job here in town and
Fun.
helping and I'm sure the fun is part of it.
Oh, I love it.
Is you got to have some, like we said a little bit ago, you got to have some fun in the process, lighten it up on this, stressful
Yes.
environment at times, this stressful industry at times. You got to have a little fun in the process, and you do a great job
Well, thank you.
of that. And I know that's part of your big success here in town is having that attitude, that way of being that help you retain your clients for as long as you do. So,
Yeah, and you're one of my faves. You're great.
yeah, well, I'm
We're
honored
fun.
to be one of your faves. We do have a good time.
Oh, yeah, we do. Well, and you're Coach Stefanski, so what can I say
Yeah,
about that?
Coach
Cleveland Brown. I always say he thought he looks like Coach Stefanski. of the
Stefanski, the Browns. Coach, if you're out there,
Yeah.
I'm coming for you. How do people get a hold of you? How do agents get a hold of you and your team? What's the best way to get a hold of Loni?
My phone number is 623
Yep.
533 2636. You can call me anytime, text me anytime, or my email is Lonir, LONIR, @driggstitle.com.
Excellent.
Or you can see me in my bright yellow Ford Maverick driving around town. You can always spot me.
Or stepping out in one of your lit up jackets.
Exactly.
Or hula hooping
You
somewhere near you.
You never know. You never know. But I'm on social media as well, so you can always reach out to me that way. And here to help.
Yeah.
Always here to help people.
Yeah. Excellent.
Anything they need. And again, we agents, remember, customize what fits you and who you are.
Right.
If I had a cold call when I was selling, I would have sold no houses.
Right.
Not my jam.
Not your jam. That's right. Know your jam.
Yep.
Yep.
And they need to reach out to you.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Well,
For sure. Because I'm telling you, I've said this to you so many times, and I'm repeating myself. Agents are missing the boat.
Yeah,
in this arena.
Yeah, I agree.
So we're gonna change that around next year, Rick.
Let's do it, my friend. Let's do
Sounds
it.
good.
Well, thank you so much
thank you.
for coming in, being on the
Appreciate
show.
it.
And as you heard, if you have any questions for Loni, you've got her information, or feel free to direct those questions to me. I'll be more than happy to relay those to Loni. And for you and those that you know who have any questions regarding retirement mortgages, reach out to me anytime. Thanks for watching another episode of Retirement with Rick.